Come on in, sit down. You're gonna get me in trouble. Come on in, sit down. We're gonna get stoned. Hope you guys are great. Oh, my shit's a mess. My shit's a mess. My necklaces are tangled, I'm sure. Oh, fuck. So tangled. Come on in. Where's my whole tribe? I had some time. Thought we'd see what y'all were doing. Happy Manic Monday! Take your meds, bitch. Take your meds, dude. Come on in, sit down. It's time for tokes. What are you doing? Just hanging out. Doing the things. I'm baked already. I'm on joint number 3. Just getting my life together this morning. My hair's falling out, always. Hi, how are ya? Morning, morning, morning. Today is a ironic day. Today is an ironic day. Come on in, sit down. We're gonna fucking talk about it, I think. I think we're gonna talk about it. I didn't know, but I think we are. Three years ago today, my stoners saved my life. Hello, hello. Come on in, sit down. I didn't know, but I guess we are. But I don't know if we are or we aren't or what we're going to do here. But we could. We can talk about it. We can talk about it. It's been 3 years. How is everybody? You little buddy got to go. Bye-bye. See you later. How are y'all? It's Manic Monday. Take your meds. Do the things. We're hanging out. I have a few hours till I got some plans going on. So I thought I would see what you guys were doing. Tired as fuck. Nap 30. Dude. Zoom in just a little. Just kidding. I'm just here. I can like slide up. Here we are. I'm far away. I'm comfy in my chair. Oh my goodness gracious. What's everybody doing? England won. Yes. Go England. Whoa, low fuel light came on. We probably shouldn't have gotten gas before we sat here forever and just did the things. We'll just shut her down. We'll just not let the car run this time. How is everybody? What do y'all got going on? It's fucking nap time. I wish it was nap time. I feel it, wifey. Like, I woke up thinking I had nothing to do, and then I was like, oh shit, I have so much to do. So I forgot. I forgot today was the day with things. USA plays later on. Good for them. Doing the things. I hope you guys are great. I'm literally just hanging out with no plans at all and not a whole lot going on in my life. Like I said, appointment at 2. Other than that, we're just hanging out. I don't know. Everything is pointing to I should tell that story, and I just don't even know if that's what we want to do today. Good morning, good morning. Come on in, sit down. We're just doing the things. I don't have a whole lot going on. I need to get a haircut. Maybe I'll do that later on today. Get my damn haircut. I'm gonna need it. Because it's driving me absolutely insane. Pamper myself, go get my hair done, do the things today. Oh, I love that, Mike. I love that. That's so awesome. Canada got eliminated. Damn it, Canada. Get your shit together over here. Just kidding. We're just here. The fact I have nothing to say is because there's so much to say, and I guess we're going to go into it. 3 years ago today, my online community, my stoners on the internet that I created a little safe space for, called 911, and I ran for my life from a psychopath that I thought loved me. And as much as I didn't know, we've told a lot of our history here and a lot of our stories here, and we have not told this one. It's 9 years of my life that ultimately led me to the Lord and put me in all of the places I needed to be to find God. To be truthful with you guys right now, if everything I didn't go through in that 9 years did not happen, it would not have put me where I am today. And I am thankful for it. And we got time. We got some time. I got about 3 hours before my appointment, so we got some time. I'm going to need food before that, though. So we'll go way back to about 2008, 2009. My ex-husband was working on a job, and it was crane day. They were setting trusses on crane day. And it was a big job. And he had a buddy arranged to come and help on crane day, because on crane day, all hands on deck. You are paying that crane driver a lot of money, and you want to get that shit done quick, right? So dude didn't show up on crane day and cost us a lot of money business-wise. Therefore, dude did not get a paycheck for the other 2 days he did work, because you didn't show up on crane day. You were hired to be ready for crane day and do crane day, and you didn't show up for crane day. Therefore, fuck you. So fast forward to my ex-husband and this guy have it out. I've never met this guy before in my life. Never met him. He went by Dirty Deal. Imagine that. Dirty in so many ways. He told my ex-husband, I'll fuck your wife and get my money back. I had no idea Ryan wasn't going to come home and tell me that. Didn't know. Did not know. Fast forward 5 years. I'm divorced, working full-time job, nurse's aide, living my life, raising my kids, paying my bills, doing my thing. Best I've ever been doing in my life since I left my ex-husband. And it was a 2-year point in my life that I really got my shit together for me and my kids. It was scary, wasn't it, wifey? And I'm sorry you guys had to go through it, but you had to go through it with me for a reason. And that was so that you could sit here today and remind these people that we can come back from the bottom. Some of us do that publicly so that you guys know that you can do that. So at this point, it's 2014, and I'm on top of the world working as a nurse's aide, take care of my babies. They're 6 and 7. I'm working my ass off. We're doing all the things. Life is great. And I decide to start dating. And this man finds me. Seems cool. He's a country boy. Wears some cowboy boots. Works in a factory. He ain't a carpenter. So he must not be too bad. Works third shift. All right, I'll meet up with you and go on a roadie. Meet up with him. First red flag was, oh, that's my buddy's car. We can't smoke in there, so can we take your car? That was the first red flag. When he said buddy, he meant that's my girlfriend's car, because he met me while he was driving his ex-girlfriend's car, because he was still living with her, still dating her. That's a fun fact for later on that I did not know. So at this point, I'm going on a roadie with this man. That's pretty awesome. I mean, he just got off work. I just got off work. We're hanging out. It's pretty cool. Good time. Fast forward a couple days, we hang out, we get along, everything works out. We go on a few dates, we do breakfast, we hang out, spend the day together. He leaves before my kids get home off the school bus. Nobody ever knows. We're just hanging out. Then one day he falls asleep and doesn't make it home before his girlfriend makes it home. Fell asleep on my couch and stayed a little late. And when he got home, his girlfriend had everything he owned packed and on the porch. And he was booted out. Had nowhere to go because he fell asleep at the new girl's house, and the girlfriend found out. Well, the new girl didn't know. I had no idea that there was already a fucking girlfriend. Happy Monday! We are telling the story about how 3 years ago, these people right here on the internet saved my life. Happy, beautiful, funny lady who is related to Jim Carrey. I'm done here. I'm done here. So anyways, mind you, the new girl thinks she's found the man of her dreams. The girlfriend just finally got rid of a problem that she didn't want to deal with anymore because he was not a good guy. New girl, being me, did not know. So I am currently shoe shopping on my birthday. It was October 15th, and he calls me and says, hey, I don't really have anywhere to go right now. Can I crash on your couch until work? Okay, sure. I have to work. My kids will be home. So, but yeah, sure. Okay, crash on my couch. Mind you, I've only known this man about 3 weeks, and I thought it was just until, he went to work. So so I get home, we go to work, do the things, and he comes back to my house the next day, and needless to say, he didn't leave. He went to work, come back, went to work, came back, and went to work, come back, and suddenly he was living there. Then one day we're laying on the couch, and I was mentioning, working in PA at a ski resort with my ex-husband, and when I had my baby, and he's like, oh yeah, I know your ex-husband. I'm like, you do? He's like, yeah, I worked for him. Oh, you did? Nice. Cute. Said, yep, and he ripped me off $500. Okay, good talk. First of all, I didn't even know you knew my ex-husband. Second of all, you know enough about my life that now you're going to tell me all about my ex-husband. That's weird. Should have been my first red flag. I was dumb blinded. I was blinded by dick. I don't know what the fuck it was. But I wasn't paying attention, obviously. So here we are, like a month into this relationship. He's already living with me, and he's just now telling me that he knew my husband. I had no idea he knew my husband. So this is the plot twist in the beginning that I missed, was the fact that the motive behind dating me was to fuck with my husband. My ex-husband at the time. That was the whole motive. This man found me, and his whole reasoning was to fuck with my ex-husband. Mind you. The next 9 years of my life would be mentally, physically, and spiritually destroyed over $500 and some revenge on a man. That's the fun fact that I missed. The next 9 years of my life and my children's lives would be destroyed so that this man could get back at my ex-husband. The motive behind it is disturbing. Disturbing. He destroyed 2 children and a woman over $500. It is what it is, but this is my story, and this is how I found God. So it's okay. It is what it is. It was God's plan. $500 led me to the Lord. So I'll take it. Anyways, so here we are. I overlook that. Here we are. This man is amazing. I tell him how my ex-husband never took us to dinner, so he starts taking us to dinner every Friday. I tell him how my ex-husband never thought of us, never brought me home cigarettes, never brought the kids home anything, none of that. So he would bring me home cigarettes, bring the kids home yoo-hoos or drinks or whatever they wanted for the day, and he would call on his way home and be like, so do the kids need anything? He would mirror everything I would say that my ex-husband didn't do, he would do just to make himself that much better. Narcissistic behavior, manipulation. Come on and sit down. We're getting stoned and talking about how 9 years of my life that was meant to destroy me led me to the Lord. Because 6 years ago, these stoners on the internet right here called 911 and saved my life. Hello, come on in, sit down. How are you? So we are at the point of Mr. Amazing is living with me and my children, and he is so fucking perfect. My kids tell their dad, yeah, mom's dating Sean. Oh, I haven't said his name in a long time, except for people here. And my ex-husband didn't put the pieces together. And then we show up at the Christmas program for my kids at their school, and I bring my boyfriend along. Why wouldn't I? And my ex-husband is there to support his children. Why wouldn't he be? And in we walk. And that's the moment my ex-husband realized that dirty deal was living with his wife and kids. The man that told him he would destroy him was living with his wife and children. That's the moment my ex-husband realized that was a thing going on. It's fucking wild. So, we are a couple months into this amazing, perfect relationship, right? Everything's so great. This man's amazing. He works a full-time job, takes care of us, doing all the things. He's so amazing. Just kidding. Slowly but surely removing friends from my life. Oh, I don't like her. You shouldn't hang out with her. Or just as simple as, yeah, we're not going to hang out with them. We're going to do something just me and you. We're just going to hang out me and you. We're going to go on a road trip. We don't want to hang out with them. We're going to hang out with me and you. Slowly but surely, over the next couple years, he would be removing every single person from my life that was important in my life. I no longer went to my father's house for holidays to hang out with him because we would take vacations for holidays. We didn't need to go to our families because we would be in Florida on the beach with the kids. We would be wherever with the kids, but we wouldn't be with our families. We would be anywhere but with our families because it had to be focused on him. Every bit of our relationship. So over the next 9 years, I would realize about this man's insecurities and about this man's trust issues for no apparent reason. I don't have any reason to have trust issues. I'm not a cheater. I was with an unfaithful man for 10 years and did not cheat on him because it's not who I was. It's just not who I was. No, it's not hot. It's actually nice and cool outside. Finally, it's cloudy and kind of, it's not hot in here. Calm down. Yeah, I'm getting to the part where this man almost unalived me. So sit down and wait a little bit and I'll tell you about how loving a man almost got me killed. Because I did love that man with all of my heart. I thought he was my forever. And he almost was because he almost unalived me. That's what we're getting to. We haven't got there yet. Absolutely. I had no idea that it was happening. I thought this man was the most amazing man in my life. I thought we were just going on vacations and spending time with each other and my children. And I had no idea that he was going to control me so much that I would give up everything in my life. Everything except for you guys. So about a year in, I started showing him that I had built this stoner tribe all over the world. In 2009, I started finding stoners all over the world and giving them a space that they could go and be safe and not have to, oh my goodness, whatever, guys, down here. We're not going to listen to the bullshit down here. We're going to stay focused. We are talking about how 6 years ago, these stoners on the internet called 911 and saved my life because the man that I was with was going to unalive me that day. And I took a backpack and got in the back of a sheriff's car and never looked back. So mind you, you already know he moved into my home with me. We already discussed that. So now we're a couple years in, we're doing family vacations. I'm slowly but surely stepping away from my friends and my family because I don't realize it, but this man is my whole world. And I made that man my whole world. He was everything to me. Everything. Goodness gracious. Methany? No, it's Stone Stephanie. I hope you have a great day. Let's fire up the joints for the haters down here. Come on and sit down. If you're new here, we're a stoner tribe all over the world. Today, I'm just giving a little flashback and a little story on my past on how I spent 9 years with the psychopath that tried to unalive me, and these people saved my life. So I hope you guys are good. They're going to be wild and crazy. Double tap the screen. Thanks for being here. Make sure that you subscribe. You're going to love it here. Weed isn't any better. Okay, well, have a good day. You're not going to like it. You're not going to like it here. It's good to pour your partner fully, but don't lose yourself in the process. Absolutely, Jeanette. Absolutely. It's what I do. I love 100%. I pour love into every single... Okay, go away. Sir, you're from the devil himself, dude. Let me fucking speak. Goodness gracious, I could be monetized. I choose not to be monetized. I don't want YouTube to pay me to be here. Then it's like a job, okay? Anyways, here we go. We're going to get back into it. That's fine, Vapor. I'm having a joint. So we are madly in love. I started explaining to him about my tribe, which is stoners all over the world that I have built and brought together. And he tells me those people on the internet only want you for sex. And I said, well, that's weird because I've never had sex with any of them. And that's really weird because they're all on the internet and they're only on my phone or on my computer. They're not in my bed. That's weird that they only want me for sex, but they're not having sex with me. Right? That was a fun fact. That was a key red flag I should have listened to. Okay? Okay? Okay, I'm not gonna do this anymore with you guys down here. Sit down, shut up. This is my broadcast. We're not gonna be arguing and telling people when and what they should be doing. We are telling a story about how 3 years ago these people saved my life. You all, distractions. Absolutely, Vega. He was blocking me from every bit of support system I had. He wanted me to believe that every single person in my life was horrible for me and I should not have anybody. And that started with my friends and my family and my tribe and my children. That's the order that he tried to take them. I lost all my friends. I gave them up. They didn't like him. But I said, he's amazing. Why don't you like him? I didn't understand. My kids hated him, begged me to not let him be around. And I was like, I don't understand. He's so awesome with us. I was manipulated and blindsided. So we're at the point of he's telling me that you guys could only possibly want me for sex, which there is a lot of that here. There is a lot of male and female people that are just out here watching because they want to see me naked. Well, they've picked the wrong channel because that's not what we do here. I'm fully clothed at all times. Sometimes it's hot. I'm in a bikini. Get over it. It's fucking 2026. I'm not Amish. I'm not Muslim. I'm allowed to show my skin. That does not give you the right to sexualize me. And that was kind of always my logic. Like, I don't care what those people think and they want me there for. I am there to sprinkle love and spread fuckery. I am not there to be naked. And that was always my defense, and I never understood it. Like, why? What's wrong with me having friends on the internet? There is nothing wrong with me having friends on the internet unless you're somebody trying to manipulate me and control me. Because ultimately, we found out that these friends on the internet would save my life and lead me to the Lord. That is what was going on here, trying to distract me from that. So I'm slowly but surely drifting away from my tribe on the internet, from my stoners all over the world. Slowly drifting away because I'm in love with this man and he wants the best for me and he's so amazing and he's so fucking perfect. He's so fucking fake and manipulative, but I'm a fool because I'm in love. I think he's so great, and I still don't realize that the entire reason he is with me was motive to destroy somebody else. I didn't know this yet. I was blinded by the dick. It wasn't even good dick. It sucked. It wasn't even good dick. I don't know what the problem was. It was mental abuse and stability. It was stability. So okay, so here we are. Love is just a word. Love is so real if it's used. We are love. Know that. Just like we are. The Lord is within us. Come on in, sit down. Oh, so much drama. You're so mad, dude. You're so mad. Anyway, so we're about 5 years in, still doing family vacations. I have no friends at this point. My family is slowly drifting away, except for the family that I'd never really spoke with that needed me for things. My brother was about to go through a nasty, dirty divorce, and he needed me to help him with his kids and to manipulate his ex-wife into not paying child support. And that's all that was. Oh my goodness gracious. What the actual fuck is going down over here? Life is crazy and wild. We're not gonna acknowledge this. I don't know what the fuck's happening down here. We're just going to stay focused on me telling a story about how these stoners on the internet saved my life. So it's 2020, and this man, it's Mother's Day. There's been moments of violence and abuse in the 9 years, but it wasn't very prominent. It was very rarely. And it always took place on days that had to do with me. Mother's Day and my birthday. They were always the worst days of the year. I was not allowed to be celebrated by this man. If it was a day to celebrate me, he had to destroy it. That was his mission every single moment. There was a Mother's Day. The four of us were driving around in my car. Me driving, him in my passenger seat, my children in the back seat. And this man, we were literally driving with no destination, just out in the middle of nowhere, driving back country roads by the lakes and by the rivers and all the things. And this man wanted me to take a left, but I missed the turn because he didn't tell me soon enough. So he shattered my windshield while we drove down the road with my children in the car. That was one Mother's Day. Another Mother's Day, I had woke up in the morning and he was mad and I didn't know why, for no reason. So I was like, you're not going to ruin my Mother's Day. So I took my kids and I got in the car and I left. And I spent the day with my kids and my then friend, Miss Beverly, spent the day with her in the car. Hello, come on and sit down, game changer. You're in the wrong. You're doing it wrong. I really liked you. You were cool. Don't be in love with me. Don't do it. It's a trap. Anyways, so I had already been hip to the fact that it's my day. You're going to ruin it. So this was about year 8 of him ruining everything. Mind you, ruining my vacation for Christmas to Florida. Totally. We were in Florida and he's mean, angry and screaming and yelling and breaking shit in a hotel room where my children are and we can't escape. I'm on the other side of the country and this man is being fucking crazy. That is the shit that had led up to this. So we are at the point of he did drink. He was a heavy alcoholic, still is. So it's Mother's Day of 2020. And I am out with, alcohol. I was out with my kids in my car, just driving around looking for eagle's nests because we had nothing else to do. I just couldn't go home where this man was going to physically and verbally abuse me today. It was Mother's Day. It was the day for me and my kids. So I took my kids and I left. I took them to TSC. I sent them in the Tractor Supply with $20 and said, go buy me something. I'll be right here in the parking lot. Go buy me whatever you want in there. Whatever you can get for $20, I'll be right outside the store. It was a way to let them have a decent Mother's Day when I knew there was a man at home trying to destroy it. So that's what me and my kids did. We spent the day in the car. About 4 p.m., I got this message that said, you're a dirty fucking whore. And I was like, what the fuck? Why am I a dirty whore? I'm just out with my kids. Mind you, my best friend at that time, which is now his bestie, now they're besties, was with me. And she knew that I had been with her and my kids all day long. There was no dirty whore activities going on. It was me and my children. I couldn't enjoy the day because he's a narcissist and he had to have control and he had to be breaking me down. Thank God I didn't have kids with him. Absolutely. I got my tubes tied because he wanted kids. I was like, now I got to have this procedure. I literally lied to this man. I don't lie. But I lied to this man and told him I had to have a procedure. And I went and had my tubes tied behind his back because fuck that. Fuck that. Back in the car. Anyways. Exes be trying to kill us out here. Know that. Anyways, so we're going back. Get away. Make a plan. I'll tell you how I did it. You're going to see. So we are at the point of what's happening in our life other than this man physically. Oh, Mother's Day. So I get the message that I'm a dirty whore. And I'm like, guys, we really got to go home. He's pissed for no reason, but we have to go home. It's dinner time. Let's go make dinner. So I make my way back home. Drop off my friend, take my children home, right? This man is on a fucking rampage because I had been out having sex with God knows what men that day in his fucking delusional head. I had been out fucking every man in the fucking world when truthfully, I was just with my children and my best friend. So sad. He had spent the day drinking liquor, drinking God knows what, drinking himself to a fucking stupor, making up bullshit in his own fucking delusional head. That's how that day went. So, mind you, I put my kids to bed. I feed them dinner. I put them to bed. I'm on the couch. This man is still fighting with me. I refuse to fight with him, and I refuse to go to bed where he's probably going to sexually assault me. So I'm not going to bed with him because at this point that was going on. So I'm on the couch, and this man says, fuck that, I'm killing myself. And I was like, what the fuck? I had the home phone in my hand, and he opens his gun safe. Mind you, my children are upstairs in their bedroom. He opens his gun safe and grabs a shotgun and goes upstairs where my children are sleeping. I called 911. I had no fucking choice. That man was going to unalive himself or my children, and I did not know. So I called 911. And as I'm on the phone with 911, he comes running down the steps with this loaded fucking shotgun and says, I'm not going to kill myself. I'm not going to do that. I didn't say that. Then why the fuck you got a loaded gun in your hand, sir? And that gave me the authority to have him removed from my home. Good morning. Come on in, sit down. I hope everybody is good. We're talking about how 3 years ago, these people on the internet, these stoners on the internet that I have given a safe space, saved my life from a psychopath that was going to unalive me. I'm not kidding. He was just expressing himself with a shotgun in the area my children were. For all of our safeties, I called 911 and had him removed. So he was then removed from my house, and I went and got my best friend. His best friend now, mind you, we're going to call her that bothered bitch. I went and got her, and she spent the next month never leaving my side because this man was fucking scary. I had phone harassment charges and a restraining order on him. So at this point, we've been split up for about 2 months, and I find a boyfriend. Really, he was an ex-boyfriend, but we started talking again, and we're hanging out, and we're doing the things, and we go to a concert, and I make it very public here with my tribe on the internet. It's very public. At this point, when I left him, when I got him out of my house, is when I jumped back into my tribe 100%. So he was gone. I'm focused on my tribe. I'm making stoner gear, t-shirts, hoodies, stickers. We're selling shit like crazy. I'm promoting at concerts, at band, anywhere I can promote, festivals, I'm promoting. It's time for Tokes gear. It's time for Tokes fucking mental health group. I'm doing that. I wish it did too. I currently do still have a 4-year restraining order on this man. I still have 1 more year left, but if he wanted to kill me, that piece of paper would not stop him, okay? He's a pussy bitch that one time told me I wasn't allowed to unalive myself because it was his job. Hold on, we're getting there. That's coming. We're not done. Just because he was out of my house doesn't mean we're done. So I'm heavily promoting my business, this right here, It's Time for Tokes, all over the place. I'm at this concert up at the lake with my boyfriend at the time. He's in a hoodie. I'm in a hoodie. I made hoodies for everybody with us, and we are all rocking It's Time for Tokes gear. Every single one of us fucking rocking it. This whole concert, it was like a Grateful Dead fucking thing. I don't even know. Pink Floyd, maybe, tribute band. But it was badass. 2 days after that, I get this text message that said, hey, it's Seth. You gave me your phone number at the concert. I was like, well, that's fucking weird. I didn't give any man my phone number. If anything, I told you to find me at itstimefortokes.com. I didn't give you my phone number because I don't just give my phone number out. But then I started to think, Seth, what's Sean and Steph if you put them together? What is his name and my name if you put them together? Hi, I'm Stephanie. Psychopath's name is Sean. Yeah, Seth. So my boyfriend at the time calls Seth and says, listen, I don't know who the fuck you are, but don't harass my girlfriend. Hangs up. Conversation over. Few days later, I get another text message that said, hey, it's Seth. You want to talk? At this point, I had COVID, and I was stuck on the couch. And my cousin had just been hit and killed by a drunk driver. My entire life was flipped upside down. Do I have my kids at this point? No, my kids were already living with their dad. No, they weren't. My kids were at their dad's for the weekend. My son lived with his dad because of academic issues and expulsion from school and behavior problems. So he moved in with his dad when he was 15, just before this. So between me calling Sean and getting him gone, my son went and lived with his dad. That's the fun fact. It really wasn't because of the stalker, but it was because of my mental state with the stalker. Psychopath, whatever you want to fucking call him. Hello, come on in, sit down. Yeah, that's a fun fact of my mental state in the time that Seth is getting a hold of me and wants to hang out with me because I gave him my phone number when I didn't give him my phone number. And so in this time, I'm realizing it's Sean because Seth talks a whole lot like somebody I was dating for 8 years. That's really familiar shit when Seth talks on my phone and won't shut the fuck up. He absolutely is a company owner. I don't think so, Ronnie. You got to leave him. You got to go. The only way to beat that is no response is the only response. So, yes, thank you, Dexter, for keeping me in line. So, I had COVID. I was on the couch. I had nothing else to do. And Seth, no proof that it was Sean yet, is texting me. And he says, you want to meet up? And I'm like, sure. He's like, I know this cool Eagle's Nest. And I'm like, oh my God, this is totally Sean. We used to go and meet up at all of the Eagle's Nest. We are the ones that found all the Eagle's Nest. It's totally Sean. So I said, okay, let's go. So I drive to the Eagle's Nest. Little bitch got pussy scared and didn't leave. And he says, well, I'm actually at a mutual friends. I'm like, you don't even know me. How do you know you're at a mutual friends? Oh, this is definitely fucking Sean, correct? Like, how do you know? How do you know that's a mutual friend? You don't even know me. I'm just a girl that gave you my number at the concert. You don't even know me, right? Remember this? Because psychopath shit. So at this point, I'm like 100% sure that it's not Seth. We're just going to call him Seth. I'm not in Canada. So just know. Yes, Sean is a psychopath. Anyways, so what was I saying? What part was I at? The part where I skirted from the Eagle's Nest to the mutual friends, which just so happened to be a mutual friend of my ex-husband's and I, where I got married to my ex-husband. The property, the homeowner that I got married at 10 years prior to this, is the house that Seth was conveniently at. So we are heading to, I'm trying not to read the comments because they're just here to distract me. Lori, we're here talking about how 3 years ago my stoner saved my life from a psychopath. And so I realize, and I drive as fast as I can be a psychopath too, trust and believe. I'm pissed at this point. Like, okay, I have all of the evidence that I am going to meet Seth. And there's a restraining order in place. And guess what is conveniently tomorrow? The day after this was court. So I knew for the phone harassment and for the restraining order, know that was the following day. So Seth on the phone with me, having me come to a mutual friend's house. I pull in that motherfucker 100 million mile an hour. And on the way, I'm on the phone with my mutual friend. And I was like, Chris, who's at your house? Seth or Sean? And he's like, what are you talking about? I said, who's at your house? Seth? Because Seth just told me to come meet him at your house. Sean, and our mutual friend said, oh, it ain't Seth. I said, okay, I'm on my way. And I was there. And I got out that motherfucking truck swinging. Because what do you mean? You just lured me here under false pretenses. And you can't legally even be near me. Now I feel threatened for my life and I am going to defend myself. Know that. And I did. I beat the brakes off this man. Literally, at one point, my friend said, I didn't know if he was okay. You punching him is all I could hear. I was like, well, that motherfucker shouldn't have lured me here. And then I was like, can I get a bottle of water? Because I'm over here with fucking COVID, fucking unable to breathe, and I'm fighting a full-grown man because, what do you mean you lured me here? What the fuck? Oh, honey, we're going to write a book. Don't you worry. I did not break the restraining order. I went to a mutual friend's house to meet Seth. And when I got there, it was not Seth. It was Sean. So I left after I beat the brakes off this motherfucker. Because fuck you. What do you mean you just lured me here once again? And I called the APD. And I said I was just lured by a man to a property. And when I got there, I realized it wasn't who I was told I was meeting.
And I had all of the text messages saying that I gave Seth my phone number and all of the text messages that it was Seth and not Sean. So I took him straight to the police department. And I filed a report on him breaking the restraining order. And so the next morning, the judge said, "So, Mr. Psychopath, where'd you get the black eye?" God, I wish I had that mugshot. Oh, I can get the mugshot. Where would it be? Where would it be? Whose messages would that mugshot be in? It's a good one. And he said, "I got in a bar fight." And the judge said, "Do you want to try again?" Because there was no bar fight. And the judge already knew that I beat the shit out of him because I told him on the phone. I was scared for my life. I didn't know what to do. I'm a 100-pound chick. And my abuser that I had a restraining order on just lured me to a property. So he went to jail for 60 days for breaking that restraining order. I gave him plenty of warning not to do it. When I said, "You're not Seth, what are you doing?" He didn't press assault charges. He got beat up at the bar, remember? When the judge asked him what happened, he got beat up at the bar. He didn't say I beat him up. There were no charges pressed. I'll tell you I beat his fucking ass because I was scared for my life. Have a great day. Yeah, I'm not a liar, but it's okay. They can call me what they want. I couldn't make some of this shit up. So now we're at the point of he's in jail for 60 days. I'm living my best life. Because I was going to prove a point that it's not okay to lie and lure me in. Here we are. Is what it is. He's the wiener. I shouldn't have went there, but also it was a mutual friend, and I knew the friends that lived in that house would make sure I was okay. Those friends I got married there. I took care of that man's father for 4 years of his life before he passed away. I have been friends with that man that lived there in that house and his wife for 20 years. I knew it was a safe space. I also knew it was Sean, not Seth. Fuck that. Fuck around, find out. And the judge knew that. He shouldn't have been a dumb shit. I'm with you, Brandy. He shouldn't have been stupid. At the end of the day, he tried over and over and over and over again to meet up with me, and I finally let it happen. Anyways, so now we're fast forwarding to he's in jail for 60 days and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Mind you, this whole time he's talking to me on Facebook before he went to jail and after he went to jail. There's communication like you would never believe, him like outright claiming his love for me through Facebook and all of the things. I'm dealing with my cousin that died, that was hit and killed by a drunk driver. And then when we all had COVID, my niece, also in this time, my niece also had COVID and she died from COVID, which was all linked back to the drunk fucking driver. The drunk driver that killed my cousin. If we wouldn't have been at her funeral, we wouldn't have all had COVID. So there was a little bit of mental trauma going on in my actual life for this man to be trying to manipulate me and mentally abuse me. I was literally burying my cousin and my niece while this man was trying to mentally fuck with me. So no, I was not in my right mind. I'm not at all going to claim I was. I don't know, Ronnie. I don't know. Love bombing is wild. The love bombing was at first like the bringing us stuff from when he'd come home and always thinking about us and spending all of his time with us and being 100% into us. That was the love bombing. Yeah, that's the thing. You don't know it's love bombing until you're already past that point. Okay, so we're going to go on here to 2020 is when we started splitting up right after COVID. Like during COVID, 2021 is when our life really got flipped upside down and we started splitting up. So he did his 60 days in jail. I lived my life. We were doing our thing. We were not communicating. When he got out, he was dating somebody else. I was doing whatever. And at some point in time, I don't really know what happened. But at some point in time, just before the restraining order was up for the phone harassment, he convinced me. Oh, I know what it was. He dropped $1,000 on my Cash App. he sent me $1,000 to my Cash App that said, please just talk to me. And I was broke and I had no money and I was a mess. And this motherfucker figured out how to manipulate me one more time with $1,000 on my Cash App. And of course I answered it. He had been hitting me with $1 here and there, $5 here and there, enough to like string me along on my Cash App. The only app he wasn't blocked on was Cash App. Because I'm not going to block you on Cash App. If you want to send me money, send away, baby. So this man, absolutely, we get weak. And he knew that. He was watching me on the internet. He was watching my lives. He was watching my posts. He watched me get dumped by my new boyfriend. He watched me have a hard time. And he sent me that $1,000 because he knew I needed it. So that was his back in. Of course, I broke no contact that time. Is what it is. It was fine. Did what we did. So we get back together. At this point, I'm living in my home. He is living in his parents' home. My children, my son is with me still. The first time he was still with me at this point before he moved into his dad. I didn't give him any. No, I didn't. Well, eventually, obviously, it leads to that. Trauma bond, absolutely. And he knew that. This is where the trauma bond becomes very relevant. And I went back and forth for a long time. And that's how he is living in my home now. And I am just getting back from the West Coast and getting my life together. So we are at the part of my kid calls his probation officer and reports us for breaking the restraining order. My son did. My son sent the police to the house. And by the grace of God, psychopath had just left to go to his dad's house and do his fucking laundry. Like, just past the sheriff down the fucking road left. My kiddo is amazing. Love him. And he was just looking out for his mom. Little did he know, in a year, he would be saving his mother's life. He didn't know. Doug, are you okay? You gonna make it? You missed the part of the story where this man came in and made me fall in love, and I thought he was my forever. So I hope you have a great day. So we're at the point. My kid calls my ex's probation officer and reports that we are talking and seeing each other and that psychopath is at the house. The police come. We avoid that altogether. We get away, no issues. Restraining order for phone contact comes and goes and is done and over with, so we can freely be together again. Stupidest fucking mistake I ever did, because then he had control. Had all control. It wasn't 27 years ago, it was 3 years ago. So he had all control at this point because I didn't even feel like I could call the police. Right? Didn't even feel like I could call the police because of the fact that this man and I had already gone back and forth through the police. We don't always know what's best for us. We don't. But you know what? Like I said, the amazing part of this story is I found the Lord. Even though I was almost unalived. It's fine. Come on in, sit down. I'm not smoking my joint because I'm distracted. Talk to God about it. That's your miracle. God is your miracle. So he was mine. So we are at the point of, I forgot. Oh, restraining orders up for the phone harassment. We are back together. He moves into my house with me and my kids. My son goes to live with his dad because of academic issues, and he was expelled from school, and I was done. He said his dad would be such a better parent, and he wouldn't be in so much trouble if he just lived with his dad. So I took him to his dad's and let him just live with his dad. So it was just me and my daughter. Mind you, I don't have family now. I don't have friends. I don't have my son. I only have my daughter. Only have my daughter. Brother, that's weird. I'm here telling a fucking story and you're insisting I talk to you? That's strange. Anyways, we're just here. So, women, I love you guys for coming in and showing out today. Double tap the screen. Thanks for being here. This is how I got away from a psychopath that almost unalived me because my stoners on the internet called 911 one morning. Everything. So, I'm at my house that I had been at for 15 years, only been with this man for 8. I moved into this home with my children and my ex-husband. And this was a $500 fucking bet for this man. Anyways, no, not pardon you. We're going to go on. My son was 15. My son was 15 and rebelling like you would never believe. He was always a wild child. And as much as I don't want to blame the narcissist psychopath for my son going to live with his dad, the narcissist psychopath had me so beat down with his bullshit that I could no longer handle my son's bullshit. He was 15. He was running away. He was causing my daughter to be in trouble. He was causing the police to be at my house 120 all the fucking time because he was running from me. He was running away. He was hiding in the woods. He was fucking just on a rampage. And him and his father swore it would be a better situation if he had him. And I said, that's fine. I give up. So I let him go live with his dad. It's going to be such a better spot, right? That's a whole story for a whole different ball game. I actually told that story a couple weeks ago. I don't know what's going on down here, but it's fine. Anyways, so my son's living with his dad, and it's me and my daughter and the psychopath, and everything's great. It's an amazing summer. Everything's amazing. It's perfect. And this man flips fucking script again on me and goes off the fucking deep end. I don't even remember now what caused me to move out of the house. Oh, what caused me to move out and into my sister's apartment? I don't know what it was, but one day I made a phone call and my sister and 3 guys with pickup trucks and trailers showed up at my house and loaded up mine and my daughter's stuff. And I left. I can't remember. I really can't for the life of me. It's all documented on my Facebook. I can't for the life of me remember what made me and her leave that day. I don't remember. Either way, me and my daughter end up living at my sister's in an apartment that is attached to her garage. It's always God. It was all God. And I ended up at my sister's in a garage apartment with no water and some crappy electricity, but I didn't care because me and my daughter and my dog were safe. I had my dog. I had my baby Tux with me. And we're doing our thing, and I'm doing the business thing. I'm making tie-dye tapestries. I'm making tie-dye t-shirts. I'm doing vinyl gear. I'm making stoner gear all day, every day. It's what we're doing. I'm living the life. And this man is slowly luring me back with the things in my home that I had left. My dad's coins. My dad had left me $1,000, $2,000 worth of coins that he had collected, and it was the only thing I received from my dad. So in order to get them back, this man said I had to talk to him. This man said I had to, do this. I had to do that to get my dad's coins. And I'd get my dad's coins, and then he would be like, I have your wedding album. I have all of your children's memories. I have this and I have that, and I have all of your stuff that you left here. Everything that I did not take with me, this man was holding over my head. So here's my daughter and I living at my sister's in an apartment. And he is luring her entire childhood over my head. My son's entire childhood, 15 years of my life I had built in that house, and he's luring it over my head. My childhood memories that I had received from my grandparents, from my mother, were in that home, and he was holding it over my head to get contact with me. Every time I would try to not speak with him, he would find something new in that house and post it on his Facebook and be like, look what I have of hers. I bet she wants this. My grandmother's crystal ball, my grandmother's crystal fucking glass punch bowl set from her wedding. Held that bitch over my head. My father's pictures, memories, anything he could to get me to talk to him. And in those moments, he would find the weak moments when I would have a bad day or somebody hurt my feelings or I needed something, and he would swoop right in with, come talk to me and I'll make it better. It was just stuff, but I was already mentally abused and gave up everything in my life. I left again with nothing. I left with a little bit of stuff, but not much. I left with some, and I know I am, and that's perfectly fine. South Africa. Wasn't a crystal ball. I didn't mean crystal ball. Anyways. You're crazy. This man isn't my daughter's father. Have a great day. Have a great day. I am saying I was weak. I am saying I was weak, and everybody has weak moments. Man, oh man, the internet is mad because I'm telling my story. Imagine being mad because my story triggers you. Okay, so I'm living in an apartment and this guy's trying to gain access to me again and not allowing me to get away and finding weak moments in order to manipulate me and get me back. At this point, something happens with my family and my brother comes home from Alaska and he needs my sister's garage apartment to store his stuff in. So my brother gives me 3 days to be out of my house, out of my apartment where me and my daughter are living. 3 days, and I have to find a place for me and my kid to live. And my stalker hears of this and says, come on home. At this point, I'm desperate and I don't know where to go. Me and my daughter are about to be on the street. Absolutely 420. Absolutely. Absolutely. What's going on here? People are crazy, dude. Nice rented car, dude. I wish I was renting this bitch. So, anyways, so I have to leave my sister's house. I have 3 days. And I decide that the only thing... Oh my God, shut up, South Africa. We're fucking done with you. Putting my daughter on the street. So, at this point, I sit my daughter down and I have a talk with her. She's 15 years old. I said, what do you want to do? I have to go back. I have no choice. I don't know where else we're going. Do you want to go live with your dad or do you want to go back with me? And she said, I can't go back. I'm going to go live with my dad. And if you think that wasn't the hardest fucking day of my life to say, okay, baby, I support you in that, you're wrong. Because that was the hardest choice I ever made, was allowing my daughter to go live with her dad because I was going to go back to the worst thing that I had ever. I wasn't safe and I knew she wasn't safe. So let me tell you how strong I will be because I know there was a reason I had to be broke down. I had to be broke down and it's fine because my daughter is my best fucking friend. I didn't lose anything in this. I didn't lose my kids. Don't you worry. My kids are okay. Like I said, she's 15 and I gave her the choice. Where do you want to be? And she said, I don't want to go back with him, Mom. And I said, that's fine. Go live with your dad. And that is awesome. Her and her dad needed that. She'll tell you today. She thanked me 3 weeks ago. She said, thank you for allowing me to have this relationship with my dad. Thank you for allowing me to have this time with my dad. Because being a weekend parent sucks. And that man deserved to have time with his daughter. And that's not what the story is about. And that man deserved time with his son. And I am a better mother because I allowed him to have them. I hit the ground so hard the day that I watched my daughter drive away in that truck with my ex-husband. That was the hardest day of my life. Grace, don't have a great fucking day. Sorry, Brandy. I do okay telling my story until it comes to the pain that I caused my kids. But this wasn't my kids getting hurt. My kids were fine. They were safe. In the 20 years of their lives, my ex-husband and I have never put those children in a situation that they weren't safe. Okay? So we're getting there. I'm telling my story today because somebody needs to hear it, and I'm glad you guys are here for it. Double tap the screen. It wasn't my fault, and it was God's plan. Because I'll tell you right now, those kids call me every day. They don't call their dad every day. They don't talk to their dad every day. They don't call their dad on Friday night like, hey, what are you doing? You want to hang out? No, it's their mom. Their mom is their best fucking friend, and I'm proud to be that, okay? So you can't hurt me by what choices I made in my life because it was God's plan. Every bit of it was God's plan, and I'm good with it. So I was just saying, I went back to the manipulator because I had nowhere to go and I was about to be on the street. And he knew that and he played on that weakness. So at this point, My entire family is not speaking to me because of the things this man has done. Because supposedly, I've gone back and forth. I called him a piece of shit, and then I went back to him. I called him a piece of shit, and then I went back to him. I was weak. I was manipulated. I had no career. I had nothing. Anyways, Rotten Tomatoes Award. This is what I have for you. Okay, we're gonna go back to all the things here. Get back to it. So the kids are living with their dad. They're safe. I moved back in with the manipulator. First thing he did is say, oh, you need ball joints and rotors and all the things on your truck. Takes all the tires off my Envoy. First thing he did was take all of the tires off of my vehicle. Yeah, I'm not gonna fall for the distractions over here. So first thing this man did when I go back by myself, for the first time in our relationship, he had me completely alone. I had no family. My children were with their dad. I had no friends. For the first time in this 9 years, that man had me completely broken down and alone where he wanted me. Then he took my tires off. For 2 months, he told me he couldn't get the parts to fix my car. He's a fucking piece of shit liar, because he used to get the parts like at the store anytime you wanted to go there. It was rotors and ball joints and easy shit, like maybe struts, easy shit. But nope, can't get the tires back, can't get it back on, can't get your truck on the road. It's junk. You're done. You can't leave. That was how that started. So I'm stuck. My kids show up one day. Mind you, okay, me and the psychopath, it's just him and I at the house, and we're having this all-out brawl. All-out brawl. But I can't call the police because we've already broken a restraining order. We've already done this. There's no calling the cops at this point. For me, in my mind, I can't. No matter what happens, there's no calling the police. And we are at each other's fucking throats. And suddenly, I look out the window and 2 sheriff are pulling in my driveway. This motherfucker looks me in the eye and said, you called 911. I will kill you, bitch. I said, I didn't call 911. I didn't call anyone, dude. And then I look, and there's 8 quads pulling in my driveway, and it's a bunch of my kids. It's my kids. They're friends. They don't live with me at this point, but they were camping across the field and got in some trouble, and they needed to go somewhere. Well, I was in the middle of getting my ass physically beat because God had a plan, and he had to stop the fucking beating that was going on inside that house, so he sent my children with the sheriffs. That was God's plan. And I went out the door, and the sheriff said, these kids need somewhere to go. And I'm like, they can't come here. They can't come here. They don't even live here, sir. They can't come here. 2 out of the 9 are mine, and the other ones, none of them can come here. They need to go somewhere else, officer. And the officer said they have to come here. Mind you, this man's about to fucking unalive me because the police are in our house. And I'm telling my kids they can't be there. And I'm screaming and yelling, y'all gotta leave. Find a way to get the fuck on off this property because you can't be here. Because in this time, there's already been a fucking issue with him and them, and it's so bad. So they're not allowed there. None of it. They find a ride, and somebody shows up to pick them up, and they leave, and the fighting and the ass beating commences. And I continue just dealing with it every single day, smashing everything I own. I have pictures like you would never believe. Smashing everything I own, guys. Everything he owned, everything we ever worked for would be smashed and destroyed before I left that house. Hold on. Let's get there. I'll show you. This is what we lived in. My friend Sarah, at this point in my relationship, because I was so alone in that house. If I wasn't active on Facebook for 12 hours, Sarah would come to my house to make sure I was alive. Because on the daily basis, this man had me trapped in this house. My car had no tires. I had no kids. I had no friends. I had no family. I had nothing. The girl that once had everyone had nothing. But this man. Nothing. So I would allow him to completely destroy everything. This is what my house looked like. This is the morning I left, guys. This was my living room. The morning I left that house. That's my plants and everything I own. And this is my face. The day I left. Where'd it go? It's hard to see it because of the clouds. This is my face the day I left. And my hand. Busted open chin. Splint on my wrist. And I was so beaten and broken. The mess in the living room, that was an everyday thing. And there was a time that I said, you know what, I'm not cleaning it up anymore. I'm going to leave it. Because he would destroy my house. We would go to bed. We would have sex. Everything would be fine. He would go to work. And I was just meant to clean up the mess he caused just to do it all over again. Every day of our life. For months. That's what that man did. He'd come home for everything. Including me. We would go to bed. He would expect me to have sex with him. After he physically and mentally abused me for hours. And then he would wake up, go to work like it was fine, and I would have to clean the house. And one day Sarah showed up and she said, oh, we got to clean this up. I said, I'm not cleaning it up anymore. And she said, Stephanie, we have to clean it up or he's going to kill you. And I said, I don't want to fucking clean it up anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. And me and Sarah cleaned that house again. Because I didn't fucking want to, and she knew what was going to happen. She knew if I didn't clean it up, that he was going to come home and be so... Because for him, it was over. It had to start over. I'm so thankful that I'm alive, guys, but telling the story some days is hard. So, that went on for weeks. He would let me go to the grocery store in his car, but as soon as I left, I would get a text message that said, I didn't tell you you could take my car, and I'm calling the police because you stole it. So I would turn around and go back to that house as fast as I could, so he wouldn't call the police because I stole his car. Craziness. The craziness now telling this story... The bullshit this man told me to make me believe is so crazy. Guys, domestic violence is very real. And if you're still out here blaming the victim, you need to get some fucking help, bro. And you're probably an abuser yourself. We're gonna light this up. 6 years ago, or 3 years ago today was the last time when I got out in the sheriff's car. And realized I locked myself in there. I'll tell you that in a minute. We're getting there. We're real close to that part. So over this next few months, he would keep me more or less locked in this fucking house. And I don't know what the occasion was. And I don't know how my kids ended up being there for the weekend because I hadn't been allowed to talk to them for months. But my kids ended up there and it was 4th of July. Because the last time I did anything with him and my kids were the 4th of July fireworks in 2023. We went to 3 different towns on 3 different nights with my kids, and we had 3 great nights with my kids. Just before all hell would break loose on the 5th and 6th. So we have an amazing time with my kids, but at one point my kids and I were left alone in the house, and he had to go to work or he had to go somewhere. I had to start this car and turn up the air conditioner because it's hot as fuck. We ended up at home alone, and Wyatt was there, and a couple of my other kids were there. And my daughter, I don't know what I had said, but my daughter looked at my son, and she said, I told you she was stuck here. I told you he had her trapped. And when the words came out of my child's mouth that was 16 years old, I realized very much so that I was stuck and I was trapped. I didn't even know. I had no idea. No, we don't. It's fine. It's fine. I'm not reading them, but we will get rid of some of them. Sorry. Just remind me where I'm at, and that is the point of my kids realizing that they were saving their mother. Who else, Christy? Christy, you know you are more than welcome. Just click on it and hide their shit. trying to find her. Okay. I don't want to delete the wrong people, so. Okay, got you. See ya. Bye. Okay, anyways. So here we go. Nah, I hide them. Timing them out, they can come back. Hiding them, they can still talk, but we don't have to see it. Yes, in 420, you guys know you can. If I'm telling a story like this and they're rude over 3 times, just get them gone. You know that. Don't act stupid. I love you, wifey. Go to church, change your life. We are the church, bro. You mean go to church where they're fucking corrupt as shit? Okay. Anyway, so we're back to the point where my kids realize that I am literally trapped in this house. And this man is very dangerous at this point. We had been with him for 9 years. 9 years at this point, this man had been in our lives, living in our home with us. That we had been in for 15 years at this point. Let's just say a prayer real quick because we probably need that. Thank you, Lori. I'll read yours. In the name of Jesus Christ, I command every evil spirit to leave. I bind any darkness in my life, mind and home, and declare that you have no authority. Amen. God is good. Get him gone. Get him gone. Anyways. So, I realized, and my kids realized, and we all realized at the very same moment that I'm very much trapped in this house. And they leave. And they go back to their dads. And it's a thing. And on that day, my daughter started checking up on me. That was 1,000 and some days ago because we kept streaks and we have not lost streaks since then. That is the day that my daughter said, I will make sure my mom is okay. And she did. As a 16-year-old child that realized her mom was in a really bad situation. It is good. I hope you have a great day. Absolutely. So, anyways, so that's the day that my daughter realized she was going to save her mother's life. And my son also. They didn't even know yet, truthfully. They didn't realize, but they started to try and do the things, and God had a plan. And so that was the 4th of July. And on the 5th of July, I was unpacking the camp out of the van. We had camp that weekend and all the things, and I was unpacking everything out of the camper. And I was getting my tapestries. It was 99 degrees outside, and this was a van that had a cage in the back. It was a work van, electrical van. The cage up front, like locked, the sliding door locked. It was a metal cage, and the back doors only opened from the outside. I jumped in. We were fighting, but I was still trying to do the things that needed to be done because if I didn't, he would be so mad. So I jumped in the back of this van, and as I jumped in the back of this van to grab my tapestries, I turned around and he was standing there and his eyes were completely black. And I knew in that moment he was going to lock that fucking door. And in that very moment, as I was looking at him making complete eye contact, he said, "You fucked up." And he shut those doors and they locked. And I was officially locked in the back of that van. 98 degrees outside, and I can only imagine how fucking hot it was in there. And that man stood outside there and didn't say a word, and all I could do was panic. I was locked inside a fucking van. It was like the worst nightmare you never want to fucking have. I'm not even scared of close spaces, but I knew I was locked in because he had made it very clear that he could lock the entire inside of that van and nobody could get into it. Yes, the kid's always there to save my life. There's a reason for that. There's more where my kids saved my life coming up. Just wait, it's not over. So I'm locked in the back of this van for 5 minutes. I don't know how long. I'm locked in the back of the van, panicking, freaking out. And he opens the door and he says, "Don't forget, I control everything." At this point, I'm done, dude. I am beaten down. Beaten down. I have no energy left. I have lost weight. My mental capacity is fucking dirt. I don't have my children. I don't have a will to live. I don't have nothing. This must have been like actually on the 4th or something. Because he went to work the next day. And we had been fighting all day on the phone. Him texting me, complete control. If I did not respond, it was fucking over, dude. At some point in that time, he told me he was on his way home, and I was scared because he was coming. And I did not. I was done, dude. I'm not lying when I say I was done. I never in my life contemplated suicide, but this was that moment. He told me he was 10 minutes from home, and that was the biggest threat of my life. And I grabbed a knife out of my kitchen. A knife my best friend had given me from her kitchen set when she moved from Indiana to Oregon. My best friend at the time handed me her kitchen knife set. And I took the biggest knife I could find out of that bitch, and I went to the woods. I had 270 acres to roam, and I could do whatever I wanted. And I was back there, sitting beside the creek in the woods, listening to him scream for me, trying to find me. And I'm sitting on, some of you have heard the story, this is the story, this is the day that I know God was right there with me, but I didn't acknowledge it. But I know he was there because I felt it. And now, looking back, I felt it. I was on the side of that river with Megan's knife in my hand, not knowing if I was going to unalive myself, him, or what was going to happen in that moment. But as I sat there, I just felt this presence with me and this calming. And I sat the knife down beside me. And as I sat the knife down beside me, this man came running down the hill behind me and tackled me and told me, "You don't get to kill yourself. I get to do that." I was done, dude. This man beat the fuck out of me in the middle of the woods, threw me in the creek, laying in the fucking dirt and in the rocks, beat the living fuck out of me because I wanted to unalive myself, and that was his job. And I laid there in that creek, beaten and broken. Done, dude. My vape pen and my bowl and that knife are still there. They're still there. Everything's still there that I lost that day when he fucking threw me in that creek and beat the living fuck out of me. Because I was in the middle of nowhere. I've never told this story in this detail, to be honest, all at one time. There's a lot of bits and pieces. So then we go back to the house. He drags me back to the house. The abuse commences all through the night. The next day he gets up and goes to work like it's just fine. And I wake up and I clean the house and I sit down on the couch. The video was on Facebook for a lot of years. I sit down on Facebook with this much, like the camera right here, so that you guys can't see any of my surrounding because it's a mess. Everything in my home was destroyed at that point except for my peace lily. My peace lily was huge, beautiful, and fucking thriving, dude. Blooming, absolutely beautiful blooms. And if you were here that day, I love you guys, and I'm sorry that you have to hear this story again, but we gotta tell it. And so many of these people were here, my wifey and Christy, and they were here this day, and it all happened right here live on the internet. Every bit of it. This next part was live right here. I had been live for 2 hours. I don't know why, but because the morning started with that man accusing me of things that weren't happening. Saying I was cheating on him, I wasn't. Saying that I had other men in my house, I didn't. So I said, fuck it, if I'm live, there's video proof that there's nobody in my house and I'm just on the internet. So it was hot as fuck. And I spent 2 hours in front of my peace lily just talking about love and light and how we just wanted to be the positive people out here in the world. Pretending nothing was wrong in my life because these people didn't know. These people didn't know that I was being physically abused every day of my life. You know what I told them when my face was shattered and my bong was broken? I told them I fell down the steps and broke my bong and hit my face on the steps. I literally was the epitome of the abused woman making up lies and telling her people lies just so they didn't know she was abused. So I am live, literally talking about my peace lilies. And this man comes in. Mind you, at this time, his brother was working for him, and he had to drive past my house, past our home, take his brother home, and then he would be back home. So he drove past our house before he got home. Like 15 minutes before he would be home, he would drive past my house. I didn't know he was coming home. He was surprising me that day because he wanted to find somebody there, right? So he was surprising me that day. He walked in the door and he said, oh, there you are with all those fucking perverts. Remember, 9 years ago, he said you guys only wanted me for sex. And I said, oh no, all them perverts, whatever, dude, whatever. I was just talking about my peace lily, and I just let it go. As this man screamed, ranted, and raved, fuck those people, they just want to fuck you, da-da-da-da-da, you're a piece of shit, da-da-da-da-da. He started breaking shit, and I was live the whole time. And then he says, who was here? And I said, nobody was here. He said, somebody was here 15 minutes ago when I went by. I said, I've been live the whole time. Nobody was here. He said there was a white car in the driveway. This is all live. Every bit of it. Ernie, go fuck yourself, bro. I was live. There was nobody that had been at my house. At this point, I'm realizing this man is a fucking psychopath and making shit up in his head. And in that very moment, I hear a four-wheeler coming over my hill, down the lane and into my driveway. I had no idea, but I got up and I looked out, and it was my son. And I was still live, and my son said, Mom, I need to use the phone because I need gas. And I was like, Bub, you can't be here, you have to leave. That put my best friend on high alert. The moment I told my son he had to leave and he couldn't use my phone, she knew something was wrong. And she was in Oregon, I'm in Ohio, but she was watching my live. She is just you guys. She is one of y'all. Yeah, just let them talk to themselves. Christy, if it's way inappropriate, you can get rid of them at this point. I'm not really giving a fuck. But they don't all need to get banned. Sometimes that just ruins everything. So we can handle the little random shit, but when they become a major distraction, go ahead and ban them. She knew, because she had been part of my life. I had saved her, she had saved me, I had saved her, she had knew my history, she knew. And in that moment, I said, guys, I gotta go, my son needs my phone. And I hung up my live, and when I hung up, my best friend called 911 because she knew. These people on the internet called 911 on July 6th, 2023, to save my life, because a psychopath that told me he loved me was gonna fucking unalive me. And as I hung up with them, I jumped on the back of the quad with my son and I said, let's go. Drive, Bobby, just drive. Man, did I not? I didn't know. 3 years later, he'd be in prison for just going, for just driving. I didn't know. God's wild with us. I'm allowed to tell the story. And if you don't believe it, you don't have to. It's fine. It's mine. If you think I can make this up, then man, I must be a good actress and I missed my calling. Truly did. Anyways, I jump on the back of the quad with my son. At this point, I didn't know that the savage called 911. I didn't know yet. I get to the back of the property with my son, and we realize we have nowhere to go. For one, we have no gas. For two, we can't get off the property because the fence and all of the things. And I'm sitting here with my son, and I'm like, you have to take me back. If you don't take me back, he's killing me when he finds us. And I don't want you to be with me. You have to take me back. Imagine being my 18-year-old son driving his mother back to the man that's going to unalive her. Imagine being him, and I wonder often what brought him to God. Oh, God, it was probably that day. Imagine being that poor baby that had to drive me back to that house because I was scared for our lives. I knew that man had a gun. I knew that man had bullets. I knew that man could take us both out. He had to take me back. He had to take me back to the house.
But God had a plan, and so did my best fucking friend. So did the stoner crew that I put in place. Because they knew I didn't have anybody there. They knew I had been live all day with you guys. They knew that. This is me telling my story, smoking a joint and trying to get through it about 3 years ago when a psychopath tried to unalive me, and I left everything I owned and got in the back of a sheriff's car. So when me and my son came down that hill on that four-wheeler, as I came down the hill, our driveway was kind of a T. The road was here. Our driveway came up and it went back the lane. And it also teed off and went to my house where I lived for 15 years. As I came down over the hill, the sheriff pulled in the driveway at the exact same moment, and we met at my driveway. In that moment, I said, "Sir, I need to go with you, and I need my son to be safe." I didn't have a plan. I was just so thankful that that sheriff was there when I got to the bottom of that hill. Because for that fucking mile drive with my son down that farm lane to the house where that man was going to unalive me or my kid, and I didn't know at that point, God had a fucking plan, and everything was in place that needed to be in place. I didn't even know God at this point. But I knew somebody had sat with me weeks before, days before. So here I am. I go in the house and I grab my 2 suitcases and I pack my machines for my business, because that's the only money I have, and that's the only thing I really have at this point is my business and my tribe. I throw them in the back of the cruiser and I say, "Shit, I need my wallet." And I go back in and I grab my purse. I'm in a pair of Crocs, a gray pair of fucking sweat shorts, and a tank top. No bra, no fucking nothing. And I get in the back of that cop car and I lock the door. Well, I close the door. They lock automatically. I wasn't thinking. I was scared. At this point, the officer had told my son he could leave, and my son thankfully had enough gas, because God is good, to get him where he needed to go. And my son had left and went back to went off to my cousin Chris's house, and he was safe. And I was in the back of the cruiser, realizing I was locked in. Maybe this was before I even had my shoes. I didn't even have shoes and wallet at this point, because I was like trying to get out of the cop car. And I was like knocking on the window, and I'm like, "Officer, I need out of here." And he's like, I'm like, "I didn't know I was going to be locked in." He's like, "I didn't put you in there, ma'am. You can get out." So I get out, and here's this man crying to the police officer that he wants me back and he loves me so much, and he doesn't know what's going on. He didn't do anything. He just came home from work and I was going off the rails. Mind you, I'm beaten like you would never fucking believe. Bloody face, wrist in a fucking sling, and I can't fucking do a damn thing. I get out, I go get my wallet, I get my shoes, and me and the sheriff leave. And on the way out the driveway, I send him the "please do not contact me" text. He already knows, you contact me after that text, that's a restraining order. Don't fucking do it. Oh my God, Mr. Fox, you're fucking weird. Have a good day. Oh, does it feel weird that I banged your mom last night and she fucking liked it? Just say it. Anyways, so we are at the point of I'm out. I have the sheriff take me to the house that I live in now, with nothing but a backpack. My son is safe. I am safe. And this man starts talking to me via Facebook again, trying to manipulate me, get me to come back. He loves me. I am his whole world. I'm everything he's ever wanted. He can't believe I'm gone. He can't believe I'm gone. "Stephanie, just come home." Now fuck you. So he's blocked everywhere, doing all of the things, trying to manipulate me, and I call a victim's advocate and a lawyer, and I do everything I can. You're weird. Do I want to marry the sheriff? Come on, get your life together. If you're not 18 and over, you shouldn't be here. So I then file for a restraining order and start collecting the evidence that this man had tried to unalive me and do all of the things. And I then go on about my life,
doing the things, and I start traveling the world with my stoners. My children are taken care of with their dad. They're safe. They're healthy. They're finishing high school. They're fine. I decide that I need to move to the West Coast to be safe, where I can sleep at night and not worry that somebody's going to unalive me, because I was scared for my life. This man was still trying to have access to me, and I didn't feel safe leaving my own home. Mind you, I didn't even have a car. He kept my car. He kept everything because there was no tires on it. How do you get your car when he took the tires off of it? Know that. Everybody that is here today was meant to be here today. So even if they're negative and angry, they were meant to be here and hear our story. Okay? Lori, my admins know who to remove. You don't get, I'm sorry. Literally, it's one fucking comment. No, it's not like that. We don't, no. Anyways, my admins know who to remove, and one comment doesn't warrant that. Have a great day. He still needs to hear our message, even if he thinks I'm a man or a woman or whatever the fuck he thinks I am. That doesn't matter. Fuck. Doesn't matter. I love you. It's okay. So, anyways, we pray for them. Thank you for being here. Double tap and make sure you subscribe. I'm just a real chick out here telling you really what happened in my life, like how we got here. So then I moved to the West Coast and court is set up. This all happened. The sheriff showed up on July 6, 2023. That's why I'm telling the story, because it's been 3 years and I feel safe enough to tell you this story now. It's hot as fuck in here. Yes, Kimmy will handle it. My wifey will handle it for sure. She knows. And absolutely. And so I'm on the West Coast doing all the things. I have all the evidence, and court is set for September 28th, 2023. Ironically, September 28th is the day my grandmother died, like 20 years ago. That date has always been special to me and will always be special to me. And I had a whole line of evidence of this man still trying to talk to me, still trying to coerce me into talking to him and being with him and coming home and to being with him, while he already moved a bitch into my house. We'll call her the fucking trash guzzling raccoon. I know. Here, let me show you how easy it is not tolerating you either. Let me show you how awesome I can shut up. So I'm on the West Coast. His only defense, I didn't know this at this point. Something happened, and my lawyer said, I really wish you could be home for court. And I said, well, I can be. Let me get a plane ticket. I flew in to Ohio the day before court. Nobody knew. Nobody knew I was here because I'm good like that. Because you guys remember when I told you about the bothered bitch that was my best friend that helped me get away from this man multiple times? You remember her? Do you remember her? Yeah. At this point, her and him are besties. Because there was a simple message sent between him to her. Are you ready to take her down? That was my psycho stalker and my ex-best friend coming together to try to destroy me. And they still are every day of my life, and that's perfectly fine. If you're new here, you haven't heard about the bothered bitch, she's very relevant. She stalks me daily. Hi, honey. So my ex-friend that hated my ex-boyfriend and my ex-boyfriend that hated my ex-friend are now besties trying to destroy me, and they're going to do that via court, they think. So she has messages and Facebook statuses saying that if I come back to this town, she's going to beat my ass. I'm not allowed here. She'll be at the airport waiting for me. If I step foot in this town, she's going to hurt me. No matter what, it doesn't matter. She's going to beat me up. So I shouldn't come here. Oh, bitch, I'm coming. So I did what any logical person would motherfucking do. I secretly came home with nobody fucking nobody fucking knowing. But me, my people in Oregon, and my best friend. My kids didn't even know I was coming home. I didn't even tell my kids. My kids didn't, but that was the best surprise I ever got to do. But I blew it like on the way from the airport. But it was the best surprise I could have ever done, was surprise my kids. But I didn't tell anybody I was coming because I couldn't. The morning of court, since COVID, everything was via video. I'm down to like 30 miles before I need gas. I can't even let this. I can fight. I beat this man's ass. I already told them about that. Anyways, Shut the fuck up. Why are you even still here? How are you still here? What's going on here? Bye. Anyways, let's go on with our life. So I jumped on an airplane and showed up the day before court. And in court, I sat right beside my lawyer off of the camera. And his lawyer got to go on about, sir, we don't need this restraining order. She's not even in the state. He has no plans on traveling to Oregon. There is zero reason to waste anybody's time with this restraining order. She is not even in the state of Ohio. So we want this whole case thrown out. And at that very moment, the judge says, well, let's hear from her lawyer. And my lawyer says, well, judge, the defendant is right here with me now in the courthouse, and he pans the camera over to me that is sitting beside him in Ashland, Ohio. Because guess what? I can come to this town. My children are here. My family is here, and I am a grown-ass adult, and guys, you don't own this town. I can come here if I want. Their only defense for me not to get a restraining order against this man, it wasn't that he didn't do any of this. They didn't deny a bit of it. None of it was denied in court. The only reason I didn't need the restraining order is because I was not in the state of Ohio. That's the only reason. Had nothing to do with me making false accusations because none of it was false. Had nothing to do with him trying to lure me in prior and going to court and breaking the restraining order. That was all true. So they didn't use that. They didn't need any of my evidence because the only thing that man was defending was I was not in the state of Ohio. So I did not need a restraining order. So guess what? I got a 4-year restraining order on that man. That is up next September 28, 2027. And honestly, God's plan is going to be wild. It wasn't clever. It was God's plan. And I had all of the evidence and I had all of the reasoning. You don't get to tell me I can't come to my hometown. I literally didn't even think of that being his defense. I didn't even consider that being his defense. I wasn't here, so I didn't need it. I didn't count on that. And it was very random that I scraped up the $600 to jump on a flight and fly back to Ohio for that court case. But I'll tell you what, that man that had already found the love of his life and moved her into my home, prior to this, from July 6th to September 28th, he had already met a new victim, ironically, because that bothered bitch and that plan to ruin me. Yeah, that bothered bitch said, hey, I have this one friend. Do you remember Destiny? Her husband just died and she's really down and in the dumps and you can abuse her. So the bothered bitch Beverly hooked the psychopath up with one of our mutual friends that had just lost her husband to a tragic car accident. This man was burned alive in his car, leaving behind her and her 2 children that he had raised. They're not his kids, but he raised them their whole lives, and he left them behind. And she was so abused and broken. And then these 2 people come in just to abuse her and break her more. September 28th, he was in court crying to the judge that he did not want the restraining order because he loved me and he just wanted to be with me, while she was at home in his house. And then that same weekend, him and her would have a domestic dispute and he would put her in jail for 3 months, and she would miss Thanksgiving and Christmas with her children because he and her had an altercation at the house they lived in, and he put her in jail. Would have been me. Thank God I got the fuck out. The weird psychopath part of this, in his sick, demented, twisted mind, I don't even think he mentally is in a different relationship. Mentally, he picked up right where we left off with her. Violence. We didn't start with violence. They did. That's weird. He started by love bombing me and being my fucking everything and being fucking Prince Charming. I thought he was Mr. fucking perfect for years. For like 7 years, I thought he was amazing. This poor girl was with him for 3 months and he's beating the fuck out of her and putting her in jail for it. Because he's still in the relationship that he was with me. They go to the same restaurants we went to. They go to all of the waterfalls. They go see eagles. They literally live our life. But her name's Destiny and my name's Stephanie. That's the only difference. He pretends she's me. And so does that bothered bitch. Because she, hi honey, have I lied at all? Is any of this story a lie? Because that bothered bitch is in the background right now being like, motherfucker, I hate that she tells the truth. I hate that bothered bitch's story's coming tomorrow, maybe. We'll tell her story then, but who knows? I might have an Italian descent. Anyways, here we are. Yeah, they both have tried to manipulate her into being me. And she just goes for it because it's a better life and she's so broken. Guys, she was with her high school sweetheart her whole life, got pregnant with 2 bastard children, and he still stayed with her and raised her kids like they were his own and pretended they were his own and loved them like he was their own. And then God had a plan. And one day he was driving home from work and the car caught fire, and we don't really know the logistics in the whole situation, but they didn't get out of the car and they all 3 burned to death in this truck on the side of the road. And that is sad. And then imagine being his high school sweetheart that gets that phone call that your whole world just burnt up to death on the side of the road. She is so broken. It took 9 years for this man to beat me down because I was mentally strong. I was a nurse's aide with a career, a family, friends, everything I needed in life I had. She was already so broken. Now he gets to build her up just so he can fucking destroy her. It's so scary. It's so scary. And I'm afraid in the end, we just pray for her every day. We pray for her every day. Just know I pray for that girl every day. He's not with her because he loves her. He's with her because that bothered bitch said, hey, let's destroy Stephanie's life and we'll use Destiny, because that bothered bitch is best friends with Destiny's childhood best friend. That's more of the manipulation. The bothered bitch needed Destiny out of her life, needed the raccoon out of her life because she wanted her best friend to herself. It's so sad. Sadly, she is somebody's destiny. And I hope God is good to her. It's scary, crazy out there. And that all started because my ex-husband, 15 years ago, didn't pay somebody that screwed him on a job and didn't show up for the job. Ironically, the song Crying Like a Bitch just started playing on my thing. I'm not crying like a bitch anymore. Beverly is, though. She's pissed. Guys, life is crazy and wild. That's a little story on how 3 years ago, the stoners on this channel right here called 911 and saved my life from a psychopath that was trying to unalive me. That's my story. I hope you guys are okay. I hope you're having a great day. I'm going to have to get ready to get out of here because it's hot as fuck and I'm out of gas. I have 29 miles to go, but I'm just letting it fucking escape as I sit here and turn on the air conditioner again. I'm going to try to finish this joint with you guys. We got to have some air conditioner, though. I'm hot. Consequences of personal choices, absolutely. And consequences of abusive behavior. I love that all of that, you still blame me because I allowed a man to come into my life and I loved him. You didn't hear my whole story, but I hope you have a great life. I'm not here to play the victim because in the end, if that man wouldn't have taken anything and I wouldn't have jumped on an airplane and flown across the world, across the country to Oregon, I wouldn't have found the Lord like I have. And God is so good, I don't regret a bit of it. As much as it is personal choices, it was God's plan. It was God's path. I made the choices along it. And that man breaking me down and fucking ruining me put me in a place so I could find the Lord. And I was. You can go back and watch this entire live stream of me telling you guys about it because I'm not going to go back into it. I just spent 2 hours talking about it. We got to get some air conditioning up there before my phone overheats. God's plan. I am so much stronger now. Literally now I have a relationship with the Lord because this man beat me down. Because this man abused me, took everything, guys. I had a house. 3 bedrooms, 270 acres, 70 of it freaking woods, 200 of it, like, actually, okay, 65 of it was woods, 5 of it was yard, and the rest of it was probably farm field. Okay, at every given point, that's where I raised my kids. I used to have a garden. I canned vegetables. We had everything you could imagine. Trampoline, play set, playhouse, the whole 9. I lived a fucking solid life in the middle of nowhere with chickens. It was a fucking hog farm. And we lived it every single day. It was us. And I left with a backpack in the back of a sheriff's car because my stoners called 911 to save my life. Not religious one bit. I don't have a religion. I'm not Baptist. I'm not, none of it. I have a relationship with God because he showed up in my life. The church didn't just appear. Well, it did, but it was within me. God showed up in my life, not the church. So it's not a religion. Not at all. Are you saying that spiritualness is mental health wise? No, God is good. Yeah, I think you're confused. You might be talking about religion, absolutely, but you're not talking about a relationship. That's 100% for sure. You are by no means talking about a relationship. God had a plan. And when I fell head over heels for Mr. Fucking Perfect, God already knew it was going to destroy me, but he also knew he was going to be there to lift me up in the end, and he did that via you guys. Via those same stoners that man told me only wanted to have sex with me, which that man turned out to only want me for that. That was the only thing. I have not talked about the sexual abuse part of that because that's a hard part for me to talk about. But just know, there was a day, a night that I laid in bed, completely numb, unable to move, while that man beat the living fuck out of me while he had sex with me. Because I wouldn't have sex with him back because I didn't want to. So he beat me up while he had sex with me. And I just laid there numb because I couldn't do anything. I had no control. Know that that's the level of abuse I was living in, and there's a lot of details that I don't put out there. Wow, Ryan. I hope you have a great day. Thank you, 420. I don't share this story because of pieces of shit like Ryan out there. Know that. We'll pray for you and just know God has a place for you saved in hell. To take my trauma and take my very darkest secret, my very darkest moments in my life, and to think that it's funny. You're trash. I'm not out here looking for anybody to treat me right. God does that. I'm out here for God. It ain't for you to treat me right because, yeah, that man treated me right. I just told a story how he treated me great for 5 years before he tried to unalive me. So, yeah, I'm not into hearing your stories on how you'll treat me so great. I don't want to hear about it. I love you, Christy. Thanks. If you're new here, double tap the screen. Thanks for being here. I didn't really know we were coming here for that, but it is my 3-year anniversary away from a psychopath. And these people saved my life. Christy and 420, and there was a lot of them there that day. A lot of them there that day. And it was one of the saddest moments of my life that my tribe had to see me go through that. But it was also the moment that I knew God had a plan. Before I even knew God had a plan. Because that was still a year before I prayed to a God that I didn't know existed, and I got an answer. I literally prayed to a God that I did not know existed because I had nothing else to give. I didn't have anything else. I had already wished and wanted and couldn't do anything. So I was like, you know what? I don't want my friend to die. I'm going to pray. And I prayed to a God that I did not know existed. I got chills from my head to my toes. And if it wasn't for that man doing the things he did to me and put me where he put me, I wouldn't have been in a position to pray for one of my best friends and get a response from the Lord himself. You are not going to walk into a church and get the feelings I got that day. You're not. There ain't no way that when you walk in that door, God's like, oh, bless you. Here you are. Welcome. Welcome to my home. No. He's within you. He's not in a church. Thanks, Little Red. It was a lot. And I did really well. If you noticed, I did great until we got to the part about me losing my children. I didn't lose my children. I put my children in a safe space because I wasn't in a safe space. So in the end, a lot of people will say I'm a horrible mom. My children don't think that, and they would never, because they lived it with me. No, and speak of that beautiful soul, why did my daughter just WID me? What are you doing? I fucking love her, because my kids are probably trying to call me. Hold on. My daughter, as I'm talking about her, she called, like, what are you doing? Ma'am, just type the words. Are you a 22-year-old ma'am with the WID? I love her. Wow. Yeah, they are. They're my best friend. Thanks, guys. Absolutely. Like, I could have said, no, you don't get to go live with your dad. You got to live in hell with me. Instead, I was like, go see what a relationship with your dad is like. And it was an amazing thing. Thanks, guys. I appreciate y'all. And I wish I could smoke this joint and not forget. We have 27 miles still empty. Car does not feel real cool, but it's gonna do fine. I'm sweating my ass off. Like I said, my 19-year-old child at 1 o'clock in the afternoon just said, what are you doing, Mom? I probably didn't do a whole lot wrong when it came to raising my kids. My kids were my whole world and still are. Still are very much my whole world. Every single moment of my life, my kids are my world. If you don't know the story, my son is in prison for 5.5 years. He's 19 years old now. No, he's 20. He's 20 years old now, and he's in prison for 5.5 years because of choices he made. Before I go into any of that, I want to tell you guys about a dream I had. Because now that I told you that story about me coming down over the hill with my son and that sheriff being there, and I told you about the sexual abuse, the physical and the mental abuse, Anne wants to do dinner tonight. Oh, it's her fucking birthday. Happy birthday to my sister! Sorry, I don't celebrate this day anymore. Okay. I'm just ordering pizza. We're not fucking cooking. It's hot and it's stupid outside. It's only 73 out there. We're not cooking dinner. I'm just gonna order pizza. Oh, she already wants tacos. Okay. Anyways. Oh, he let me out, and I just fucking abided like a fucking good little girl for the next 24 hours till my friends would get me the fuck out of there. I finally left when, in that moment, it was the next day after the van. He let me out of the van after a few minutes. He let me out of the van. It was just to insert dominancy. Shit, fuck. Sorry, buddy. That's all it was. Sorry, I parked like an idiot. So yeah, it was just a show of power. So he did let me out after a few minutes of me sweating my ass off in a 100-degree van, fucking roasting. Yeah, I don't know why it's only 73 here, but it feels hot as shit, and I'm sweating balls. You know that. Buy food and a cake. Ice cream cake from DQ? I'm down, I'll do it. So yeah, the next day is when my kids showed up and the stoners called 911 and I left in the back of the sheriff's car. It says I messaged in the group with you and her. Where is that? If it's on Snapchat, I'm on the phone. Do you get pets at your phone and smash it? What are you talking about? Pissed at my phone and smash it? That's stupid. I'm not 12. Thanks. We're getting through the days every single day. I got to have visits with my kid yesterday. We get to see all the time. Yeah, like, I didn't, this phone is smashed, but I dropped it, and it's just my extra phone. Yeah, it's hot and sticky here. It's gross. So yeah, that's the story, how I left a fucking psychopath after 9 years. And slowly over the last 5, he took everything from me. Know that. He still has my dog. I had to leave my dog. And that's the hardest part, is leaving my dog behind. He was my little best fucking friend. He saved me in that 5 years. It was that dog that got me through when I didn't have my kids, when I didn't have anything. I had him. And the psychopath knew that. And so the psychopath took him. And now his little fucking cunty raccoon trash guzzling girlfriend posts pictures of my dog all the time. Like it's her dog and shit. Like literally, dude, it's weird how they have just manipulated her. And it's sad, truly. To finish that story off, it's sad. We pray for her all the time. Because the feelings I have in it, she's not okay, and she won't be okay in the end. I was strong. She's very weak, very fragile. Tux was the best dog. I got Tux in the middle of a snowstorm during a live video. I was live on Facebook, and a friend that lived up the road like 20 miles, it was fucking blizzard conditions outside. And my friend was like, hey, I got a puppy for you. I'm like, fuck you. No, you don't. Whatever. And I ignored it. Fucking 20 minutes later, knock, knock on my door. And here's this friend holding the cutest little fucking ball of fucking lab puppy dog. Thought, oh, it's just a lab puppy. It's so cute. Just a little black lab. That little black lab started tripling and doubling and quadrupling in size by the day, dude. I swear I would wake up and he had grown. It was like a chia pet. You would water him and he grew. You didn't even have to feed him. It was water and he grew. You give him water and he would grow. And then I realized this dog was a lab mastiff. He was gonna be fucking huge. This dog got so fucking big. Oh, he absolutely did, because guess what? He's going to lure me in with on September 29th of 2027. It'll be my dog. You want to come see Tux? You want me to meet up? I got the dog. That's what he's going to use in 2027, is my dog. I can just about put money on it right now. He will use the dog. And that's fine. It's fine. It's going to be fine. Everything's going to be fine. Have a great day. I can't wait. Anyways, what was I talking about before I realized that that's what he's going to do? Oh, him taking my dog. So Tuck shows up. He's growing very fast. He's my whole world. I take him to do everything because he has anxiety and you can't leave him home alone. So he goes everywhere with me. Everywhere. You never leave this dog alone. Absolute no contact. Trust and believe that. But that's what it'll be. It'll be I have the dog. It'll be pictures of the dog, which is fine. Have a great day. Or my Christmas decorations, or a childhood memory of my children's. He has so much stuff that he kept. We'll see. Okay, have a great day. Are you okay? Doing good? I'm sitting in my driveway. It's hot as fuck. And the air conditioner's just not fucking doing it. Yeah, we're not doing the things. But just know, he still has all the ammunition he thinks he needs. But I got out. I found the Lord, thankfully. And that's my story on how a psychopath almost unalived me because I thought he loved me for a long time and I was just manipulated. It was alcohol. I don't know that it wasn't drugs though too. I'm not sure it wasn't drugs also. Okay, because mind you, the story started with him. He used to work with my ex-husband. I didn't know him then because my ex-husband worked with a lot of people, and you don't just know everybody that your ex-husband works with. You don't know them. You know, that's his business, not mine. And so I didn't know that. But my ex-husband said he was always on drugs. So very likely I just never knew he had a drug problem because I was so against drugs. Lay off the drugs, kids. It's cannabis. It's from the Lord and it's legal here. I just don't smoke in my house. Have a great day. So yeah, I'm not 100% convinced that it wasn't also drugs. Why can't I get air on my face and also like up here on my phone? It's hard to tell what it was, but the man definitely was fighting some demons. In his defense, he had some childhood trauma. I'm by no means defending him, but like I said, God had a purpose, and that man needed all of the love I showed him. And I guess along with the bad times, I may as well tell you about some times that I realized I was saving a psychopath's life, and he might not have ever had the love I had to show him. When this man was 8 years old, his mother chose to run away with a man and left her 8-year-old son sitting on the porch, and she left state. We do make bad choices, and God has a plan, and those bad choices lead us to some amazing things sometimes. But at 8 years old, this kid was left on the porch of his home where his mother left a message for his grandfather that said, "I'm leaving town and Sean's sitting on the porch if somebody wants to come pick him up." And that poor baby at 8 years old sat on that porch, slept on that porch all night long, and nobody got that message for 24 hours. And he sat abandoned by the world, abandoned by the very people that should have loved him at 8 years old. And that breaks my heart, because if you think I don't still have love for that man, you're wrong. And I couldn't imagine an 8-year-old baby sitting on the porch just wishing his mama would come back home. Happy birthday to you. So just know that yes, a lot of trauma, a lot of damage, and a lot of mental issues. That man's first Christmas with me, he was asleep on my couch, and I put the Christmas tree up right beside him with my kids because he didn't wake up to do Christmas with us. Should have been another red flag that I didn't pick up on. But he didn't wake up to do Christmas with us, and he laid on the couch and slept while we tiptoed around and decorated the Christmas tree together as a family, like we always did, me and my kids. And then we went on with our day, and I looked at Facebook, and I seen a status from this man, and I probably still have the screenshot that said, "For the first time in my life, I feel like I'm home with a family I've never had." And it was a picture of the Christmas tree that my kids and I decorated. And that man, for the first time in his life, at 30 years old, felt like he was home. Felt like he was home. In a place that I had made home for my children. It was just a house that I made a home with my kids for him to come into and feel loved for the first time in his life. And that is when I realized, this situation has made me realize that I am the love that some people need in this world. And if I didn't show that man the love that I showed him, he would have never known it. And now I know why he couldn't let go of the house. I know why he couldn't let go of the home that is now just a house again. It will never be that home. He started isolating me right off the bat. Like within the first weeks, he hated my friends and hated them coming to my house. And then the way he isolated like my niece and nephews, like my kids were always so relevant in my life. He wouldn't let the kids have cell phones at the house because of the internet. So if my nieces and nephews or my kids' friends came over, they had to put their cell phones on the dryer and they couldn't use them while they were at my house. And I didn't have cell phone service to use their service. They had to be on Wi-Fi in order to connect to any kind of service. I lived in the sticks. So his way of manipulating the kids to not want to come there anymore was by telling them they couldn't use the internet and they needed to put their phones. If they were there, they couldn't be on their phones. Well, these are like preteens and teenagers. Who wants to be around if they can't use their phones? So it was simple little things like that. Like, oh, they're wasting our internet and you're not going to be able to have internet and I'm not going to have internet because the kids are all on it. So we need to put their phones away. Okay. And I couldn't argue with him. He was mean and angry. But that didn't even start right away. At first, it was manipulating me into thinking that, oh, we were saving internet and they could just go outside and be kids. No, in the end, I realized he did. He knew from the start. He's very professional at the manipulation part of it because everything in his life has been motivated by manipulation. Like, I was a $500 paycheck that he didn't get because he didn't show up for work. Destiny is a ploy to destroy me and give Beverly her best friend. It's fucking wild and crazy, but everything in this man's life is pre-planned and meditated. It's fucking wild. Absolutely, Chopped. Absolutely. And today is 3 years, but you know, sometimes you got to look in the rearview mirror. You wouldn't know what was behind you. So sometimes you got to look back there. So they wouldn't have it if you weren't supposed to. As much as you're not supposed to watch it because you'll wreck. Sometimes you got to use it. So today we're reflecting on how I got out of a 9-year abusive, physically, spiritually, mentally, and sexually abusive relationship. So if that hurts your feelings, I'd suggest you leave. Love does not mean chains at all, but man, some people think it does. And sometimes you're so in love that you don't even know there's chains until it's too late and they're so tight they're choking you out. Like the day I was shoved against the wall by my throat and my ear there was so much pressure on my ear. I ended up with cauliflower ear from him pressing my ear against the wall while he choked me out. Not sexually, know that. Yeah, like I said earlier, I'm thankful I didn't have children with him. He is not the father of my children. Thank God. It was sad that he got to destroy some of my children too. But like I said, me and my children both have the Lord, and all three have children. All three of us, me and my children have the Lord in our life now, and we're thankful for that. And I'm thankful that man put us here. And I hope one day he finds God. I hope one day he finds God. There is this song out there, Healing Hearts. That's what we're doing out here. There's a song out there by Zach Bryan, and it is called Dawns. I'm pretty sure it's the Dawns about Give Me My Dawns Back. And it was a day in July when I had a heart attack. And I can't play the song here because of the copyright bullshit. But I can find the lyrics. Hold on, let me find the lyrics. Spotify. I'm pretty sure it's Dawns. But it's literally talking about a day in July when she left everything behind and left him. And by the time he woke up, she'd be at her best friend's house. And I sure as fuck was. And it's the perfect song. It's about how he kept everything, you know, or he wants this back and that back. And, come on. I don't know about my service. I just want to read you some of these lyrics on how perfect it is. It's not going to work. Let's go to the library. My playlist. Nothing's loading. I must have really bad service. Do I need to pay this phone bill? What's cracking? Not much. How are ya? My children are my whole world, and they know that. And as much as I moved across the country to save my own life, I also moved across the country to save theirs and you guys. And we could have never guessed that we were going to end up on the path we are on. And there was a day that my daughter sat across from me at a kitchen table, and the devil spoke to us through a phone. And I don't say that lightly, but he did. And that story is here on my YouTube. But he literally said through my phone, "She's mine, you're next." And if that won't bring you to the Lord, I don't know what will. But that was the day my daughter and I both found God real quick. Dawns. I can't play it, but I'm going to try to find the lyrics on here. And it is Zach Bryan and Maggie Rogers. Wake me up when the season's gone, because I've wasted all my dawns on you. So what do I do? Wait, how do I see all these? Okay. So what do I do? I get fucked up just because I'm scared. Love's just another drug I've grown a victim to. So what do I do? All is fair in love and war, so what the hell are we even fighting for? I'm on your front porch begging for my dawns back, giving me my gosh darn records and my clothes back, because I'm through. Oh, how I'm through with you. And by the time she wakes up, I'll be halfway to my mama's house. It just dawned on me life was fleeting as the passing dawn. And it was my mistake because she never said a thing about Jesus. I didn't even know I had Jesus beside me and with me that whole time. But this is the part of this story that gets me. Because I never did say a thing about Jesus, but now it's all about Jesus. And this song is so fucking perfect. It's fitting for that July day. And it was my mistake because she never said a thing about Jesus. I miss my mother's southern drawl and her praying through the walls in the evening. Give me my dawns back. Everything that dies makes its way on back. I lost her last July in a heart attack. I need one small victory. Give me my dawns back, because everything that dies makes its way on back. I lost her last July in a heart attack. I need one small victory. Now, this is the part where she comes in and starts singing. And by the time he wakes up, I'll be halfway to my best friend's house. I moved to Oregon to my best friend's house. It's just dawned on me, life is as fleeting as a passing dawn. And I should have told him twice, I believed in something bigger than both of us. This whole time, I believed in something bigger, but I didn't know what it was. I miss going out to bars and shooting stars, not worrying about what's left of us. And I don't miss that. Give me my dawns back. Everything that dies makes its way on back. I lost him last July in a heart attack. I need one small victory. Give me my dawns back. Everything that dies makes its way on back. I lost him last July in a heart attack. Where is it at? I get fucked up just because I'm scared. Love's just another drug I've grown a victim to. It's so perfect. Like, literally, I didn't know there was something bigger. But that song and those verses about how she didn't tell me she believed in Jesus, she didn't even know, dude. My bad. But, like, I want my clothes and my records back. Bitch, I just want my dog back. I don't, though. You can keep him. He's expensive. Can you imagine feeding a lab mastiff? Sorry. That's a whole fucking rent payment in itself. Thanks. I'm feeling it. Oh, I did learn from it. I learned that God is so good. God is so good, and he has a plan. And even in your worst moments, he's with you. He's with you, even in your worst moments. Know that. Every single moment. All right, what do we got going on? Damn it. Dinner with the whole damn fam just means I'm not getting a nap this evening before work. Yay. So yeah, that's my story. That's my story. We have 22 miles till I gotta go get gas. Or head back in the house and live my best life. I hope you guys are good. Sprinkling love, spreading fuckery. I didn't know we were going there today, but that is my story. On a day how 3 Julys ago I lost it all in a heart attack. It was most definitely a heart attack. The heart died that day. The heart died that day. For real, for real. A part of me realized that it wasn't me and a man, it was me and Jesus that day. Because that's the only way that all of those happened. Oh, I was going to tell you guys about the dream. When I moved into this house 15 years ago in 2007, I moved into that house that I lived with him in. In 2007, when I moved into that house, I kept having this reoccurring dream that wouldn't stop for like 3 days. I would go back into this story, into this dream. And it started with a mother and her child. The first day, it was like them just driving down the lane that me and my son came down, remember? This is wild behavior via God that I didn't even know I had. So in this dream, it was a girl and her son coming down the hill in their car, and all I knew is she was beat up. And then I woke up out of the dream. Then I went back to sleep and went back into the dream. And it was the girl physically saying she was beat up and she was abused and she was sexually abused and she didn't know what to do and she had to escape with her kid. And I woke up. And I went back to sleep. And I went back into that dream, and it started from the beginning and went through all of that again, from her coming down the hill to her explaining that she was running and scared for her life. And then I woke up. And for 3 days, I kept having this dream. And finally, I told Ryan, my ex-husband, like, I'm not going to sleep. I can't even sleep anymore. I keep having this fucking dream. I can't sleep. It was my house, yes. I moved in that house with my ex-husband and my kids when my babies were newborn. My daughter was 6 months old when I moved into that house. She was 16 when I moved out. I was only with the psychopath for 9 years. He moved in with me. He moved in with me, and I told that whole story at the beginning of this live. If you missed all that, I told the story from the day I met him till now. Open hair, please. That's weird. So, what the fuck was I talking about? Shit, fuck, what was the story? Oh, how I had the reoccurring dream. So I finally told Ryan, like, I can't even sleep tonight, dude. It's been 3 days, and this dream is freaking me out. I can't stop having it. And that was the night I went to bed, and I never had the dream again. That must have been me, like, God, I'm done. I can't handle it. And praying without knowing I was praying. Thank you. So after this, go back and watch it. Go back and watch it. It's like an hour and a half of this live, and it's me telling the entire story how the psychopath got my house. That's literally what he was after. In the end, it was the house and the land. He's trying to make it was a home that he didn't realize once me and my kids were gone, it was no longer a home, and it was just a house with 4 walls. And now he's trying to make that home again, and it's not that, and he can't do it, and he hates his life, and that's fine. So, it is a crazy story. I don't tell lighthearted stories. My life has been crazy. So that was in 2007 that I kept having that dream. If you listen to my whole story, my son and I came running down that hill on his quad, trying to save my life to a sheriff's. And I was beaten, broken, physically, spiritually, and mentally, and sexually abused. The dream I had 17 years before that, 15 years before that, was me coming down that hill with my son. And I didn't realize that until last week. Last week, I said something in one of my lives that made that click in my mind. And I remembered about that reoccurring dream. Well, I'm sorry that you're here. You can scroll on then. If you don't care, why are you here? Scroll on. Bye. So, Amber's doing great. She's doing great. She's got some things in motion right now. She's doing the things. I just realized last week that I was that dream. That dream that God kept putting in my head was me and my kid running for our lives. And I had no idea. And that's a story I had not told anybody, that nobody really knows, because I didn't even remember about that dream. We may have had a live where I talked about dreams, and I mentioned that live. I mentioned that dream in a live. I may have. I don't really know, because it's not something I talk about. It was crazy. It was a scary dream. And literally, I remember telling Ryan, like, I'm not going to sleep. I can't sleep because I can't stop having this dream. And that is all I knew. And then when I told that story about me and my son coming down that hill on his little red 4-wheeler, I realized it was me, and it wasn't a red car, and it wasn't a random lady. It was me and my son. And as much as it didn't look like me and my son, it was me and my son. And years later, that would play out. And it did. And it did. So yeah, that's the ending of that. That's the start and the finish. I was warned. I knew it was coming, but I didn't know it was coming. That's how wild God is with me. That's how wild God is with me. 20 years later, it's almost 20 years later since I had that dream. 2007, I moved into that house. Thanks. Amen. It was God's way of being like, I'm going to give you a little bit of what's going to happen, and you're going to do amazing. He was just letting me know. And it was also his way of letting me know so I could let you guys know how good he is. Because what other explanation is there to a dream I had 15 years before that of something that would happen, but just in different form? It was a car, not a 4-wheeler. It was not me. I mean, I picked part of, oh, there's that eagle. That eagle is always here. I picked part around this part of the dream because it wasn't an African American lady and her son. And that was very relevant in my dream. And that's why in my heart,
back in the day when I had the dream, like when I was explaining it to Ryan, I would say I feel like it was like a slavery related situation, like in my mind, because it was an African woman in my dream. So I never would have linked it to me. Absolutely. I never would have linked it to me. Absolutely. That's why it's a relationship with God, not politics, religion, or none of that. Just find a relationship with God. That's what it is. It's not a religion. It's not the government. I agree. So just know. God had a plan before I ever even did. And he was showing me then that he will show up and show out. And he did. Thanks for being here, guys. I'm going to have to get out of here. My appointment's at 2. So I did not know we were going to come here for 2.5 hours and talk about that. So I'm going to go to this appointment. I did have to acquire a lawyer because life is fucking wild and bullshit and it's stupid as fuck. So I'm going to go meet with my lawyer and get my life together. Go sprinkle some love, spread some fuckery, and I will see you guys soon. I hope you have a fabulous day. Just remember, you never know what's going on in somebody's life. They may not even know what's going on in their life. So be fucking kind. Okay? Sprinkle love, spread fuckery. Later, y'all.